I believe I was on the verge of spiritual psychosis, and this is how I came out of it. Hello, and welcome to Hitchhiker's Guide to Humanity. Today we're talking about spiritual psychosis, and I'm going to share a little about my experience with it, so maybe it will help somebody with theirs, right? I don't know that I went full-blown spiritual psychosis because it takes, it doesn't take much to get there, to be honest. And I think a lot of people are experiencing this. And I think that, and this is going to be very controversial, everyone who devotes themselves to religion are in some type of psychosis too. And I should preface this, I am not a therapist, not a doctor. I have seen a therapist for 12 years. So, I know therapy well. Here's the thing. When you start to access your gifts, and I say this in a general way because everybody has gifts. I truly believe that everybody has them. Once you go inside and once you start becoming aware of how incredible you are, you start to tap into those things. You start to see things and hear things, okay? And when I first started on my journey, my spiritual journey, it was very subtle, right? It was like, oh, you're an angel. Oh, you're Archangel Uriel. And here's the thing. How do you go from believing you're Archangel Uriel to where I am now, which is I believe I have an angelic frequency and that Archangel Uriel is that particular frequency, right? Because everything is energy. How did I go from I am Archangel Uriel, they're my higher self, to I have that frequency? It's like you have to peel back the layers of what you're experiencing in a grounded way. There are a lot of people who believe that the 5D or new earth is going to be a new place, a utopia of sorts, something they create in their mind. And there is evidence that that is not going to happen. And it's the same as religious culture believing the rapture is going to happen. Neither one is actually going to happen. You're not going to see bodies fly up into the air and the rest doomed to live this terrible life we're already there. If that's the case, we are living that life. So if you believe in the rapture, you didn't go. You're still here. So, whoops. That's the thing. The more that the world starts to show what's behind the masks of everything, you're going to start to unearth a lot of your belief system and question it. And here's the thing, there's nothing wrong with that. I want everyone to do this, please, because it can feel like you can't walk back from believing certain things. And I'm here to tell you that you can. There was a point in time where I thought, at my advanced age of I'm not telling, I was going to have twins because I got the message from my spirit team. I talked to them in my meditation and I was like convinced. And you know what? Maybe I did have them in another timeline. Maybe I did have them in a symbolic way. The thing is, the messages that you get from the energetic realm, from the Akashic field, from God, from spirit, from source, they are coming in as frequencies, as vibrational energy. And it can be misconstrued because we have the limitations of the human intelligence. And energy is much broader of a substance than human intelligence. The brain is a fantastic antenna for all of these frequencies. It takes it in, but it's also there to keep you safe. And so if your brain wants you safe, the energy wants you to be flying high on all of this spiritual gifts and all of this, you have got a balance problem. So to me, spiritual psychosis, religious psychosis happens when you lose that balance, when you decide one side is more important than the other. They coexist. They have to. This is how this world got into this mess to begin with, was believing one side was better than the other, that it wasn't a balance. And the balance just means people can believe what they want. They can pray if they want, all of that. But once you start taking away, or once you start telling people they have to believe something, you have crossed that line into weighing it down to one side. There was a time when I believed in twin flames. There's that other person who is part of your soul. Now, I didn't believe that it was one soul was broke apart into two pieces. I was like, that just doesn't gel. And then as I went along in my journey, I discovered that twin flames was actually a symbol for you yourself, your masculine energy and your feminine energy combining so that you have them both even in this beautiful balance. So you can be both have, how do I say this? You can have both masculine energy and feminine energy and exist with it. You can see a lot of masculine presenting people or men discovering this again in their clothes. They're wearing makeup. They're wearing, nail polish, all of these beautiful things that make them feel more feminine. And yet they're keeping their masculinity intact. And then on the other side, you see these really masculine people with all these muscles and, and feminine energies are not attracted to that. Not really. They think we are, but we really are not. There has to be a balance. A good example is Ryan Gosling. He's living that balance. He embodies that balance. And that's why everybody loves him. He wears those frumpy grandpa sweaters and these glasses, but he has this aura and energy about him that says, I know who I am, and I don't need you to define that. And there's nothing sexier than that. I'm sorry, there just isn't. And so now my belief in the twin flame is that it's inside you, right? And it seems like every time I go through one of these phases, I'll say, or experiences where I think something very fantastical, almost spiritually, I always come back to being grounded and going, wait a minute. And the more and more I research, the more and more I talk to my spirit team, the more and more I go inside myself and ground myself in reality, the more I realize what is actually happening. A lot of people, especially religious people, don't want to be wrong. And here's what I will tell you. There is no right and wrong. There are no rules here. There is established moral, not rules, but, and this is where it gets confusing, right? Because the Bible, which I believe is a book of tales that were created by men. So the Bible gives you a map. You don't have to guess. You don't have to question. You can just believe that and move on with your life. And those are the principles you live by. And it gives you an easy answer, right? And humanity likes easy answers. They don't want challenge like that. They don't want to question. I'll preface this. They used to not want to question. A lot of U.S. citizens, specifically, want to be told what to do. A lot of humanity wants to be told what to do. They want to be in groups. You can see this across social media. Nothing makes you feel more in a group than getting some type of inside joke, than belonging to a community. That is built, ingrained inside human bodies. And so if there is a rule book that is presented to you and everyone around you believes it, you want to belong. You don't want to be the one that questions it. And especially when you question it, people like get in your face, they bully you, they tell you you're wrong. You start to believe it because your brain will repeat what you tell it. So if you tell your brain, Jesus Christ died for our sins, that's it, and everybody else is wrong, your brain's going to go, Jesus Christ died for this, and everything is going to support that in your life because we create our own realities. So if you believe Jesus Christ died for our sins on the cross and then he rose on Easter, and you believe that to be true, it becomes true to you and your belief system. And the more people who believe that, the more true it comes, even if it is not true at all. And that is how psychosis works. We have got a societal psychosis when it comes to religion. It is massive. It claims many lives. Many wars are fought in the name of this particular belief system. No one thought to question it all these years. Or maybe they did, but they didn't make it very far, right? And I know how controversial that is, especially to religious people. What do you mean Jesus Christ isn't the Lord? What do you mean God isn't real? God is indeed real. God is just not a dude with a beard sitting on a cloud who tells you right from wrong, who punishes you if you don't do exactly what he says. Does that sound like a good God? It's energy, people. It's an energy exchange. We create it, it gives back. It's a loop of energy, and it has to be balanced. And right now, it's not. So this spiritual psychosis, religious psychosis is happening because it needs to. It needs to, because the balance has gone dark, really dark. If you look out there, you watch social media, you watch the news, you just live as a human for like a day. It is dark out there, quote unquote evil, but it isn't new. This has been the story of humanity from the beginning. Humanity has always had the concept of evil. They've always had the concept of light and dark. And even as somebody with an angelic frequency, and I'll claim that without spiritual psychosis, you believe in the light and the dark, but in a balanced way. It's not one is right, one is wrong, one is better than the other. You need the dark with the light. You need them both. It doesn't exist in just light. That doesn't thrive. There's no challenge. There's no contrast. You need both. So we need to start grounding our spiritual information, our spiritual gifts into reality and humanity. And that is going to be tough when you're so far on one side. And because you keep getting proof all the time that reality is not what we thought it was. The government really is corrupt. Aliens really are real. Like every time one of those things becomes real, it supports whatever your belief system is, or it debunks whatever your belief system is. The key is to flow with it. It's not to take these little kernels of information and use it to support something in a way that takes you away from your grounded self. Remember, the point is for your spiritual life, your spiritual gifts, your beautiful souls, to make your human life better while you're here. It's not to find out more stuff. We'll talk about this more maybe on the next episode. I like this topic. So if you have any questions, you can find me on social media, earthdecoded.fm or erica.earthdecoded.fm on Threads and Instagram. The other one was TikTok. Okay. Until next time, peace and love to you all.